What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. So today we're going to be installing a new lock on this door. Previously, probably for the past 2 years or so, I've been using the Ryobi jig. So this one here, door lock installation jig, very handy, nice little tool, and it's pretty cheap. I think maybe it costs about $20, $15, something along the lines of that. And I've had it for 2 years now, so it does hold up very nicely. But there is one issue with this that I really don't like, and Milwaukee seems to have solved it. So that's the only reason why I've jumped over to the Milwaukee one, and I'm going to be testing it out today. The issue with this one here, like I'm saying, show you guys a bit of a close-up. We've got these springs on the inside here that are supposed to hold this jig in place. Now they do hold the jig in place, but the issue is when I've got a freshly painted door or a prime door, or even just a plain door like this one here, when you do install this one here, like I said, it holds on pretty tight, but it does seem to scratch the surface. So you can see there underneath, it's actually scratched the door. If this was a freshly painted door, it actually rips into the paint, and I really don't like that about this jig. Other than that, there's no mechanics involved on this jig. Very simple, straightforward, nice little unit, but this one here seems to have solved the problem. So on the back of the Milwaukee one, we've got a little clamp on there, so you can actually clamp that on manually, which is a good little feature. This one here cost me, I think, $60, so it is a lot more expensive, but it does have a few extra features that the Ryobi one doesn't have. So number one is a clamp. Number two, we've got a built-in accuracy feature, which means it automatically centers, which is a really handy feature. Number three, we've also got some hole saws included. So I'm going to open this one here up and test it out, see how much difference there is between the Ryobi and the Milwaukee. Not to say that the Ryobi one is not good, because I've been using it for the past 2 years, been doing an awesome job. I just have to be extremely careful when it comes to damaging this surface here. So I'll pull this one here off. You can see the marks that it leaves behind, and that's the biggest issue with that Ryobi one here. So let's open this one here up and get straight into it. If you guys haven't already seen this or seen the video on it, definitely one of the best utility knives out there. Check out the video if you haven't already seen it. Definitely worth the investment. So that's the jig, hole saw. This one here might actually be a stopper of some sort. So a big problem that people have when they're going through the door, they seem to go all the way through, and what happens is you end up having blowout on the back of the door. So that means it's just basically going to damage the face of the door as the hole saw goes all the way through. So not too sure how this one here works, but it's a stopper. There we go. So it's just a stopper to prevent the hole saw from going all the way through. Once it stops on the stopper side, then you're able to turn that hole saw around from the back of the door and then do it all over again from the back. So good little feature there. Got a few little bits and pieces. Our drill bits, a washer, a couple extra drill bits. I'm not too sure what these drill bits here are for, because we've got a fair few of them. And a locking nut. So I'll try put this one here together and then we'll test it out. Alright, so having a quick look at this one here, we have to use the washer and also a locking nut, because these are two different sizes, which is a bit disappointing. So we've got a little attachment here, lock this one into place, and then we can put our actual drill bit on there. So this one here needs to have that little fitting on there. The other one, which is a 25mm, can go straight on. Would have been nice if they gave me two of these. So I don't really like using these ones, especially with these ones here, because they don't have that locking feature for the back, and you wouldn't be able to use it anyway by the looks of it, because of this little extension that we have to put on here. But these ones here tend to bind on, get stuck, and then they're really hard to take off. So I really don't like using these, to be honest, but we'll use it for the purpose of this video and test it out. So anyway, let's get this one here ready. We'll line up my little jig and test it all out. We'll drop in the stopper as well, so the stopper just goes straight down the bottom, and hopefully these lugs here don't get blocked off by the back section. It's actually a very tight fit. Put that in, turn it until it locks, and it doesn't seem to allow it to go all the way through. Let me back this one here off. So you can see there the lugs go all the way in when this is backed off. as I tighten this one here up, then everything sits in place. So looks like it's going to work all right at the moment, but I really don't like how you have to switch over your drill bits, especially because of that extension that's on there. And these ones here, because they don't have the lugs, they always seem to bind up on this design, the old school kind of design. I don't really use these, to be honest, but we'll use them for the purpose of this video. We'll line up this jig. So if we have a look down the bottom here, we've got a little switch to control the offset for our latch, which is a handy little feature. It actually works pretty good, and it's a built-in function. The Ryobi one doesn't have a built-in one. You can see that it's got a couple little slots in there, and there's a little plastic card that you used to have to put in there to basically control the offset. So you can see that there's the offset, and it had a little card in there, and that's how you control it. But nice to see that this one here is actually built in. If we have a look on the back, that's the clamp section that I was talking about. And what's really handy about this is that it's got auto centering. So the latch hole is always going to automatically center regardless of how thick the door is. So as we open this one here up, you can see that the spacing becomes, the spacing is even on both sides. So that means it's going to automatically center depending on the size of the door that we've got. So it's a nice little feature that we've got there. Most doors are either, or in Australia anyway, 35 or 40 mil. So this one here works pretty good. I like that it's auto centering. Let's position this one here on. We've got our little line markings here. So if we have a look, I'll try zoom in for you guys. So if you have a look, I've drawn up my center line here. We've got a little triangle down the bottom as well. And that's an easy way to be able to center this. So if we have a look down there, that's pretty much centered. That's pretty much centered there. Have a look up the top. We've got another guide, another one up the top. So that's pretty handy. I'll hold this in place, and then we can just tighten that clamp up. So a little bit hard to do with one hand, but I'm going to have to adjust it as I go, just simply because I'm using one hand. And that's how ready to go. So we can still hopefully control the offset while it's still on there. 60, 70 mil. Very, very nice. I'm going to set this one here at 60 and we'll drill the first hole. So remembering we've got the stop in place. We'll lock this one here up, drive in our first hole. And that one there sounds like it's now hit the stop. I'll just check down the bottom. So I'll show you guys down the bottom what's happened. If you have a look there, we can see the tip of the drill bit and nothing else has gone through. So this is still all intact. What I'm going to do now is remove that drill bit or the hole saw and put it from the bottom, and then we'll drive this one here back through the other side. So the lighting's not very good in here, but basically what I'm going to do now, recenter it using that tip of the drill bit back through the hole. And now we've got that centered again. We should be able to drill straight through, and that little section is just going to pop out. Once that's done, you can see there, perfect little hole. So you can see there we've got a perfect little hole. What I'm going to do now is switch over my hole saw bit. Let's see if this one here wants to come off easily. Might have to use a screwdriver for this one, or actually a adjustable wrench. So that's the biggest problem with this style. I really don't like it. Once you put a bit of torque on it, very, very hard to remove. We'll take it off, and now I've got that fitting stuck on this, and now we've got two problems. I need to get two adjustable wrenches. Now we can put this one here back in. So now we're going to use a 25 mil hole saw, and we're going to take out our latch positioning. Remembering this one here has auto centered, so it should hopefully be in the center. Line this one here up. And that seems to have gone through okay. We'll check if it's actually centered all the way through. And now to remove this block of timber here, we're going to use a screwdriver and just pry that up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to also show you guys the other set of hole saws that I'm using. There's a couple little handy features on the other one that's just really worthwhile noting. So you just put the screwdriver in, lever that all the way up, and we'll see if we can pull it out by hand. we're pretty lucky that we could actually pull it up by hand, because there was nowhere else to actually slot that one there through, unless I really push it from the bottom. But we'll take this one here off and we'll check our center for the hole, see how that went. Alright guys, so if we have a quick look at the hole that I just drilled for the latch, you can see there that it's not actually centered. It's taken a bit more material down from the bottom than it has up from the top. Now initially I thought that it must have been something to do with this thing here, but what I've learned is it was actually a user error and I didn't tighten up the clamp tight enough. And I'll show you guys exactly what happened. So I'll tighten this one here up. As it tightens up, it actually draws in both sides evenly, and the problem is, if we have a look now, everything's nice and flush, and that's simply because it's still loose. It's not very tight. What you have to do is actually clamp that down a bit harder, and we can see up the top there that excess material that I was supposed to cut out is now visible. So that was the actual issue, is I had to clamp this one here a lot tighter than what I did initially. User error. Hopefully you guys are going to learn from that if you decide to go out and pick up one of these Milwaukee lock kits or the jig. Something else that I've realized as well, if we have a look down here, we've got some rubber feet or some rubber pads on both sides. So that's really, really handy. That's pretty much the biggest reason why I went over to the Milwaukee one. Not so much for the auto centering, although this thing here is pretty handy. But these rubber feet, I really don't want to have to damage a door when I'm trying to install a new lock. So this jig here actually works pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, especially this auto offset here for the 60 and 70 mil. I really like that, the fact that it's built in. So it's a nice little jig. It's not too expensive. $60 isn't too bad for the jig itself. So hopefully if you guys are interested, guys, get out there and go pick one up yourselves. So just quickly before I forget, guys, the hole saws that I'm usually using is these ones here by Lennox. The reason why I like these ones so much, number one, the arbor that it comes with, it's got this little function on there. You can see how that pops up and down. It's got two lugs on the back. What that does is they lock into the back positioning here. So if I wanted to use the Lennox one onto the Milwaukee hole dozer, luckily it still fits. So we can screw that on, and then it comes to a point where it's actually going to line up those lugs with those holes. And then what I do at that point is I just pop them in place, and that's what actually locks this system into place. So that way it avoids over tightening and having that to come pretty much use an adjustable wrench or the multi to pull that out. So I can just pop that back out and it's still nice and loose. So I really wish that this one here, the Milwaukee one, had the same feature as this. Also, what the Lennox one has is you can see that it's got a little step system. So what that does is, where's that piece of timber? I'll just try to find the smaller one. So if I put that piece of timber back through into the Lennox, force that one there back through, what we actually do is we use that step. So it's got a little step on the side. Hopefully you guys can see that there. I'll pick up a better one so you guys can see. So we've got a little step section right there, and what that does is we initially pop it up. Once the timber gets up to here, we can use that as leverage, push the screwdriver underneath and push that one there back up. So if I wanted to get this one here up, I push it all the way up till it gets to that step point. You can see there where it's now stuck. Once again, use it for leverage on the side, and we can pop that one there all the way out. So you can see that it's completely off. Just another little handy section. Thought I'd show you guys. All in all, nice little setup here with the Milwaukee. I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching. Bill's out too.